Hey, y'all. Welcome to the replay. If you are watching this on replay, let me know by dropping the word replay in the comments or just say hey in the comments. It is Saturday and I'm excited to be here to have a quick, I'm going to keep it quick for real this time. For real, for real. I'm going to be quick. Quick conversation with you about how to make our thoughts work for us, how to put our thoughts to work, how to flip the script on our thoughts, all of those things, so that we can feel all of those things related to our thoughts, so that we can feel empowered about what we're thinking and how we're moving through our lives. I don't do anything, or I don't want to participate in anything that makes me feel like I'm being led by something else. Like if I have a sense that I am at the mercy of another thing or a thought, like I'm gonna have to figure out how to change that, because that doesn't feel good to me. That doesn't help me to feel empowered in my skin, in my own life. So, what I want to talk about today is how we can do that with our thoughts. So, if this is your first time here, hey, I'm Mo James, a certified confidence coach and founder, and I do the work that we do through this brand allows us to support women like you with information and tools and resources and community and other tools to help you activate and activate your confidence and allow it to be reflected in your life. So, like I said, we want to talk about thought work today, and how to make our thoughts work for us. And why is this important? Why is it important to even talk about the thoughts we think, when there's so much other things going on? Well, because the thoughts we think about ourselves and toward ourselves influence the actions we take. So what we think shows up in what we do. As a man, woman thinketh, so is he, she. So it starts with what we are thinking about ourselves. And here's what's so cool about this and why this is such an important conversation, because whatever it is that we think about and toward ourselves, those were probably learned. That's a learned behavior. Somebody taught us that. Somebody showed us that. And if that's the case, then we can unlearn it and we can replace it with something different, with something that's more aligned, with something that feels gooder to us. So, what do you think about yourself? And and I know hearing that question, you probably are thinking all of the things that we're told are appropriate. Well, I think this and I think I'm great and I think blah 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 blah. And that's cool and all. But what you really think is actually reflected in how you treat yourself. That's where the truth is. So if you uh, habitually put yourself last, if you put other people's needs before yours, if you don't take yourself to the doctor, if you uh, uh, don't take your vitamins every day, if you don't take care of yourself, then that is an indication of what you think about yourself. Because as you think, so you are. And when you think higher of yourself, you treat yourself better. That's why this matters so much. Because since we're talking about everything we do here is about confidence and activating confidence, when you think higher about yourself, you treat yourself better, and you're able to show up in confidence in everything that you do. That's the connection of the dots. So I want to use an example. I was thinking about this. I'm gonna tell you a story. So one of the earlier jobs that I had before I joined the army, but one of the earlier jobs that I had was at a telemarketing company. I guess you could call it a telemarketing company. Um, And now I've talked about some of my other earlier jobs. This was my first job, but this was like early first two, three jobs. One of my other first jobs was at a video store that actually had an adult video store in the back. So I was underage and they hired me, so I couldn't go in the back because that's where all of the adult accoutrement and accessories were. So I couldn't go in the back. but I went in the bag. Y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, that's not this job. This job that I'm talking about was our telemarketing company. And we made outbound, well, there was an inbound and an outbound side. And I worked on the outbound side where we made calls. Yes, I was one of those people. This is before the calling you about your car warranty thing. Back then, it was calling about adding services to your phone company service with Bell Atlantic. So I remember one of the leads at this job, I was a teenager, maybe 17, 18 years old. And one of the leads at our job was this woman who always wore clothes that did not fit. And this isn't shade. This is the truth. And it's a whole story. I'm gonna get to it. Every day she showed up with like a skirt that she had to put a pin in to secure it, or a sweater that the buttons were stretched, or a shirt that was too tight around it. Like, she always wore clothing that did not fit. And the thing is, this was intentional. She intentionally wore clothes that didn't fit because in her mind, she was motivating herself to lose weight. So she would go shopping. Go shopping. Imagine this. Go to these people's store and buy new clothing that you know is not your size. Take that clothing home and wear it to work and be uncomfortable. And the thought is, this is going to motivate me. I'm going to make myself so uncomfortable that it's going to motivate me to lose weight. And this wasn't a secret. This every most of the people knew this at the job, right? It was a thing, that she would buy clothes that didn't fit, and the intention was, this is going to make her want to go work out. This is going to make her want to make different food choices, right? So even back then, in my 17, 18-year-old mind, I thought, what? Imagine this, you all. Imagine getting up every morning to go to work, looking in your closet and knowing that everything in there does not fit you. And then wiggling yourself into those clothes every single day, feeling uncomfortable, and then looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, this is too tight. I need to lose weight. This doesn't fit. I need to stop eating so much. And I'm using her as an example, but the truth is, a lot of women do this. This is common. This thought process is common, where we put ourselves into situations where we choose discomfort. We put ourselves in situations that we know will make us feel bad. And we think that that's going to be the motivation for us to change our behavior. I'm going to say that I worked at this job probably for, I don't know, 7 months, 8 months. I don't know. I don't remember. She didn't lose a stitch of weight. And again, I'm not even saying it to be shady. I'm saying it to illustrate how we can tell ourselves things in our minds. And so often the things that we tell ourselves are stories that we have borrowed from other people. Those same other people who were probably also dealing with their own hurt and their own regret in their own lives. And they spoke things over us and spoke things to us that we internalized. And then that story became our inner narrative. And so now the way that we deal with ourselves is very harsh and very rigid, and has no grace and has no room for anything. We literally beat ourselves up mentally every single day and say, I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that. I need to get this together. But is that working? Like in my Dr. Phil voice, how's that working for you? It doesn't. It doesn't. It does not work. It's common that we do this, but what if we, as women, as a collective of women, decided that we would change our thoughts to make them work for and with us instead of working against us? What if we could train our thoughts to be allies instead of adversaries? Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to have a recurring narrative running in my mind that beats me up, that makes me feel worthless, that makes me feel that I am incompetent, that makes me feel like I am less than. I don't, that's not the story that's going to be running in here. And one primary reason, because the world, society, culture already does that. And so, if I know that when I go out into the world, I will have to deal with people who are at different stages of their own awareness. I was going to call them raggedy, but I changed. People who are at different stages of their own awareness, some of them that haven't even started their own journey. And so they will say things to me, they may direct things toward me that will feel like attacks. So, why in the world would I have that same war going on inside my mind when I'm already fighting a war, like at work or at the grocery store or with all the other places where we show up in our lives? Why do that to ourselves? What if we could what if we could train our thoughts to literally be our partners in our evolution? What if we could train our thoughts to support us in whatever it is that we're doing instead of punish us? All make us feel like we're always wrong or we're always incorrect or we are on the struggle bus. What if we could train our thoughts to work for us instead of tearing us down? We can do that. That's the beautiful thing about it. I said this at the top of the live. A lot of what we say to ourselves, a lot of those inner thoughts, that inner narrative, that's borrowed. Those are words from other people that we picked up. We Somebody came and dropped their bag of foolishness at our doorstep before we knew better, and we picked it up and brought it on in, and now we take that bag everywhere we go. We can put the bag down and we could change the thought. So I've got one, two, three, four, five steps. This is a mini process that we all can practice and go through whenever we recognize that a negative thought is rising in our mind. A negative thought is showing up. Like my former coworker, that negative thought is telling you, well, you need to lose weight. What if instead the thought said, you are okay the way you are? This body supports you for right now. And as you move into a different season of your life, your body might need to change. Your body may change. Your body will change. What if that was it? What if instead of going to the department store, to the Saks, to the Nordstrom, to the whatever, wherever you go, to buy clothes that you know didn't fit you and torture yourself every single day, knowing that you are in attire that is ill fitting? What if instead you actually bought clothes that fit the body you have now and it made you feel so good about yourself that you was able to look at yourself differently and see yourself differently, and then you start giving your body more of what it needs? What if that? We can do that. I'm gonna give y'all these tips and then I'm gonna roll. Okay, negative thought pops up. What do? First, you ask yourself, what are the facts? The negative thought says, you need to stop eating and lose weight. Using my former coworker as an example. What are the facts? The facts are, this is the body I have right now. Maybe this body carried my children. Maybe this body maybe this body supported me through a very stressful, difficult, traumatic season in my life. Whatever it is, what are the facts? That's the first question to ask. Second question, where did this thought come from? Because like I said, once you can recognize that the thought that you don't want to own the thought anymore, you can probably identify where it came from. Who was the first person that called you whatever? Who's the first person that told you you were ugly? Who's the first person that told you that your worth comes from your work? Who was the first person that told you that you are not enough? Where did the thought come from? Take it back there and leave it. Don't pick it up again. Leave the thought there. It's not your property. Take it back. That's the second step. The third step, how does this thought make me feel? Again, so much of this journey of growing in our confidence requires us to be more in tune with ourselves. We do a lot of numbing today. And when I say we, I mean humanity, because we have all of these outlets, right? We can drink, we can smoke, we can party, we can text, we can scroll social media, we can binge watch television. We have a lot of options to stay disconnected. We can gossip, we can do a plethora of things to, to keep us from really paying attention to our own selves. So in this process of identifying that negative thought and changing the narrative, ask yourself, how is it making you feel? Does your stomach hurt? Do you feel disgusting? Are you getting heart palpitations? Is your throat getting dry? Are you sweaty? What does it feel like? Because if you don't know up here, your body will tell you. Your body will tell you. Are the hairs rising on the back of your neck? How does the thought make you feel? Because I'm going to bet that it's not a good feeling. It doesn't feel good in that moment to have that thought. So then step number 4 is to ask yourself how you can change the thought so that you feel empowered. How can you change the language? How can you change the narrative of the thought so that you don't feel worthless, unimportant, forgotten about, lost, overwhelmed, all the things, all the negative things? How can you change the thought so that you feel empowered? And then the last step is to replace the disapproving thought with a confidence supporting thought. Replace it. Pick that one up, deposit it someplace else, and change the thought. This is where affirmations are very helpful. I've said before, affirmations are not all you need to allow your life to be a reflection of your confidence. But in this case, in this instance, this is where it's very helpful. Affirmations are one of the tools in the toolbox. And when you're trying to learn how to change your thought narratives, affirmations do a lot to help you do that. It helps you find the language to speak to what your desires are. Because sometimes you can't even see your way past the negative thoughts, so you don't even have the words. This body has supported me through every experience up until this point, and it will continue to support me as I evolve. Instead of saying, I need to stop eating, these clothes don't fit. Forget that. Replace the thought that disapproves of you with something that supports your confidence. So here's the thing, y'all. Tools, I believe tools and resources and practices and exercises are very important when you set out to win a battle. When you go into something with the intention of winning, what do? You will arm yourself with everything that you think you will need so that when the adversaries show up, oh, for you, I got this. Ping. For you, I got this. Boom. Whatever it is. And so if you are watching this and you have made your mind up that you are going through this process. You are going through this journey. You are unlearning the unhealthy things and trying to figure out how to replace them with healthy things. You do want your life to be a reflection of the confident woman that you are becoming. If that's you, then knowing how to win the battle in our mind starts with recognizing the thoughts that haven't been supporting us. And it's okay if we recognize, you know what? None of my thoughts support me. All of my thoughts tell me that I am insufficient. It's okay. You have the power to change. You have the power to change your mindset. And I invite you to do so. If you are watching this and you have not yet signed up for the Confidence Mindset Makeover Challenge, I encourage you to do so. We are getting started on November 3rd, and we are going to be talking about how to break up with those patterns, those learned behaviors of fear and self-doubt and our inner critic, which is exactly what we were just speaking about. That's that inner critic speaking to you, telling you that you are insufficient, telling you that you're not enough, telling you that the appropriate way to handle yourself is to beat yourself up. That's a lie. That's a lie. Reject that. Refuse to accept that. So we all have the power to change the thoughts we think and the actions we take. But we first have to recognize that the actions are prefaced by the thoughts. And the lives that we live are a reflection of the thoughts and the actions. So if the thoughts are at the root, let's get to the root. Okay? So the Confidence Mindset Makeover Challenge is happening starting November 3rd, 3 days live, free to participate. All you have to do is click the link or go to the link that you see here on the screen and get signed up. So if you all have questions, comments, anything about this conversation, I would love to hear them. Drop them in the comment box, drop them in the chat, and let's keep the conversation going. I definitely believe that this is a universal experience for women, just because we deal with recurring messages of our unworthiness. We do. Culture is constantly sending us messages that we're not enough. We're not thin enough. We are not reading enough. We are not sleeping enough. We are not exercising enough. We are not having sex enough. We are not going on dates enough. We are all the things society tells us we're not enough. And so once we recognize that, it's our responsibility now to make sure that what we are pouring into ourselves combats those messages that constantly are thrown in our faces. It's our responsibility to do that. And we have the power to do it. We have the capacity to do it. We can do anything. Like, I just refuse it. There's nothing that we cannot do. Okay? So let's do it. Sign up for the challenge. Let me know if you have questions. Let's keep the conversation going. Until my next broadcast, I will catch y'all later. Enjoy your Saturday. Bye.